Hey everybody, it is the Angry Honey Badger, and it's time for Free Week. Let's see who's free this week and which 4 champions I'm going to recommend. Free this week, we're going to be seeing Ahri, Caitlyn, Fiddlesticks, Gragas, Jana, Jax, Swain, Taric, Varus, and Zyra. And as for my first champion recommendation, I'm going to give that one over to Ahri. Ahri's been in a pretty super solid spot for the past about year at this point. Actually, just about the whole time she's been a champion. One of the things that they've done, which I thought was the biggest change, people thought was a nerf, was when they changed her movement speed thing and they tweaked her numbers. The movement speed on her Q is kind of amazing for her. Getting in and out of fights even better. She is a pseudo-assassin. I know she can be a full-on assassin, but I call her a pseudo-assassin because she also just does well as just a general mage in mid lane too. But Ahri is a very strong mid laner that we've seen all year long and we'll probably always see. She'll never probably be the #1 pick because there's so many things shifting, but she'll always be a solid pick. So try her out if you don't have her. My second pick for this week is going to go over to Jana. Now, there are a few things people do wrong with her, and I've talked about this in the build video that I made for her. She's a very, very strong champion, and she has a good win rate overall, but a lot of people play her quite wrong. But she has some of the nicest things in a kit ever, and that's why she always seems to get nerfed over and over. But if you can play her well and basically just not over-engage, because she's not an engaged champion, she's like full-on disengage. Obviously, she can slow people down, and she can engage to a certain degree if you're really like in a 1v5 situation where they're the 1, you're the 5. You can use her that way. But overall, she's the world's greatest disengage, and she does maybe the best job in the game at keeping people off of your high priority targets on your team. So if you're looking for a very good disengaged support, Jana's definitely a champion you want to try. My third recommendation for this week is going to go over to a champion I've been enjoying a ton lately, and this is Varus. Varus in mid lane, you've probably seen me stream it a few times. I think it's just super fun to play. He does tons of damage too. It's outrageous, and it's not really like tons of damage in the way that he's like super overpowered. He just, if you land your abilities and you play his playstyle correctly in the mid lane, he just does a just crazy amount of poke damage. So I've been enjoying it. It's also a really interesting counter to a handful of champions in mid lane because of your ability to have good range at farming, and that becomes your damage. You can poke people down quite easily with autos and then follow that up with your Q, obviously, because you have those blights stacked up. So it's something that's really fun. So if you like playing ADCs but maybe not so much in bot lane, you might want to try him out in mid lane. It's just absolutely fun. And my final recommendation for the week, I'm going to give that one over to Swain. I like Swain as a champion. I know on my tier list he's not the highest. The problem with Swain is he is a sustain-based damage champion. He not only sustains his own life with his ultimate, but he does sustained continuous damage. Continuous damage dealers can be good in very specific team games, and they always deal some kind of damage. The problem is Swain doesn't do burst though, and right now with the meta shifting back towards assassins, burst damage is good to have, and he doesn't necessarily have burst damage. If you're going up against an enemy team that's starting to build a lot of tanks though, Swain's perfect for that. He's going to sustain well against them, not only getting life, but dealing damage to them too, and that makes him very, very good. He also has some good mobility impacting abilities. So he's got the good root, he's got the good slow, and he can deal a lot of damage throughout a long period of time. But if you're expecting him to burst someone out, not really his thing, but he's still a really good champion. Those are the 4 champions I am going to recommend you try this week. Obviously, there's all 10 of them though to play. If you don't own them, try any of them out. There's a box around any of these champions' portraits at the moment. That means you can click on it and it'll take you to a building guide of some sort for the champion. And yeah, that's what we'll do for this week. I hope you all have some enjoyable matches, and good luck on the fields of justice.